Willkommen, Shalom. Welcome everybody to our Innovation Talk Israel. We're tackling the issue of cybersecurity in home office time today, the new reality that was forced on all of us in all sectors as one. In most cases, the outcome was positive and even outstanding. But one issue remained a real challenge. The normally familiar secured IT environment has been compromised. Here comes Israel into the frame. Israel is known as the security expert due to its forced circumstances and involvements in its establishment. Israel takes security very seriously, and that sentimental spills over into the cybersecurity world as well. The country has become a leader in the cybersecurity. We have a great honor to have today with us two great field players from our RU region, Mr. Tobias Najib, the CEO of Volkswagen Infotainment, and Dr. Tilman Frosch, the CEO of G-Data Advanced Analysis GmbH, that will share with us their experience in this new present. Afterwards, we will hear 4 pitches from 4 Israeli startups that offer different solutions from the cyber field. But just before we go about it, I would just like to remind you all of our playground rules here for our talk. To those of you who might be the new kids on the block. Please place all your questions in the Q&A or Frage und Antwort function that you will find in the lower bar of your Zoom screen. Feel free to place them in German as well, by the way. Any question that will stay open, I will simultaneously translate in the end of our session in the Q&A round. Please do not hesitate to come forward with any kind of impulse. We're pretty much easygoing. The whole event will be recorded and all presentations will be download ready afterwards. An email will be sent to all of our participants and all the information on the panelists' contact details will be also published. At any point, don't hesitate to contact me or my colleagues here at the BMR. We are not only here to give you a great time with our innovation talks, but to elevate the business opportunities towards the next level afterwards. So let's start. First of all, and first and foremost, I am honored to give the word to Mr. Rasmus Beck, the CEO of Business Metropole Ruhr. Dear Rasmus, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Daniela, and a warm welcome from my side to all of you out there. Our innovation talks have become a quite successful format due to these COVID times, and we are very happy that we could just continue our strong relationship with the ecosystem in Tel Aviv and in Israel. And today I think we have a very crucial and interesting topic. We all know that home office is changing the way we work together, and there are of course a lot of security and compliance issues about that topic. So there's not only the way how we work together, there's also a big business opportunity to make this home office world work. And in Israel, we know that there's a large cluster on cybersecurity, and here in the Ruhr area, in Bochum, for example, we have Germany's biggest cluster in cybersecurity. You all know the company G-Data, which is providing this antivirus software and advanced solutions. And we have a big new player in town. This is Volkswagen Infotainment, which is caring about security issues in Volkswagen cars and is also working very strongly together with us on latest innovations and also, of course, with all the universities around. So I'm very pleased and I'm very happy that we have such a beautiful lineup today with the startups from Israel. We could match you with big companies from our region. And for you as participants or just viewers, I think it's another outstanding example for the capabilities of our innovation bridge we have been building up for about 3 years now. And there's also a very warm welcome, and we are very thankful for our constant work with the Chamber of Commerce in Tel Aviv. Dear Charm, dear Sharon, thank you, you are with us. Thank you for organizing this event with us together. And I hope that when all these COVID times go away soon, that we will have the opportunity to see each other again soon. So from my side, I think it's a very good way to stay in touch, to get another topic on our B2B platform. And I wish that all of you will have a brilliant time now for the next 50 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rasmus. Well, 50 minutes, we're being optimistic. I think I'm not going to let everybody go so quickly. We're going to go now to our first keynote speaker, Mr. Tobias Najib. Mr. Tobias Najib is the CEO of Volkswagen Infotainment since about 5.5 years. He left his mark in various departments during his rich career in the Volkswagen Group before he stepped into the CEO position in 2014 of the newly founded Volkswagen Infotainment Company and led it into the Volkswagen Group. Mr. Najib visited Israel with our delegation last year and was thrilled to hear how deeply, I was thrilled to hear how deeply impressed he was from everything that he experienced and met there. Thank you, Mr. Najib, for being with us today. The stage is yours. The screen is yours.
Yes, thank you, Daniela. And I'm very happy to be here. As you may notice, I had a little struggle to start my camera. And now this is a different camera. I just installed it. And please bear with me if the picture isn't that top quality. But what's more important is that I share my screen with you, because I would like today to talk a little bit about what we have experienced and what we are experiencing since COVID-19 took place and is taking place. So welcome from my side. You are not in the home office of me, you are in my office now, and this is how it looks like. It looks like every day before COVID-19, but it's different because there are fewer people here in this area, but I will talk about this. So today I would like to give you an insight about Volkswagen Infotainment, and I would like to talk about what is our experience. We start with a short profile of the company. So can you see the picture, the presentation?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
And by the way, your picture is brilliant. Everything's fine.
Thank you.
Well,
you're trying to keep me comfortable. So,
by getting it.
What is Volkswagen Infotainment? As Daniela just explained, in 2014, this company was founded in order to buy the European development center of BlackBerry. And this was an asset purchase agreement, and of course, it was linked to all the people at that time working in this development center. So at that time, it were 200 people, a team of 200 people working on the ground of the Ruhr-Universität Bochum for BlackBerry and developing whole mobile phones and extremely performant, capable mobile phones like BlackBerry Z30, for example. So since then, what did we do? First of all, we started and were integrated in the Volkswagen Group. And there were two cultures coming together. IT culture, startup culture, kind of, and automotive business, very traditional culture in Germany. And since then, many things happened. So we shaped the company newly. Now we have departments for software development, engineering, system verification, functional owners, and project management. And we experienced a high demand on our competences. So Volkswagen is our customer, in the same time our company where we belong to, and Volkswagen said, so we need your competence, please prepare for it. And this is what we have done during the last 6 years. We had an enormous growth rate, and you can see it today. I was welcoming our 600th employee, and it was a very strong moment for all of us, because now we are 3 times the size that we have been when we started. And yes, 605 people working in our company, and still we are a startup. Still we take care of our startup culture, and even if we are getting bigger and bigger, we will still be the coolest startup in the Volkswagen Group. And as Rasmus just said, we belong to Bochum, and you will follow the news in the next days, and we will have good news for Bochum and the Ruhrgebiet. So there are decisions made, and I think there are good news coming up to you concerning our future in Bochum. Our strategy. So we are a passionate team. We are a team of passionate experts creating the digital services to accelerate Volkswagen shaping mobility for generations to come. What does it mean? I will explain this in the next slides. Just let this sink in and see that our vision starts with the people. People are the most important asset of our company. Our spirit. I was talking about the clash of cultures, automotive industry, traditional, and we as a startup in this group. Now there's a new player in town, and this is the Car Software Org. It's a kind of new brand of Volkswagen. Volkswagen already has 13 brands, and the Car Software Org is newly founded within the Volkswagen Group. Until 2025, it will collect 10,000 developers for digital services and software development. And it will be the interface for partnerships, even to external partners. And it will create, so we will create with the Car Software Org, we will create one software platform. Volkswagen is very strong in platform management. So cars are made from a tool set. And this software was always an aspect, but not an internal part of the product. So now Volkswagen has done the strategic decision that software will be an internal part of the product, and it needs to be internally developed. So this is why Car Software Org is now founded, and this one platform will be the tool set for all the software demands in the cars in the future. And we belong to this, and we see that the spirit of this Car Software Org is very similar and very compatible to us as a cool software company. Now, what do we do? Volkswagen Group worldwide, just some figures. It is 12 brands. It is 11 million cars per year produced. So that means 44,000 cars each working day. And there are 365 models. And what is our contribution? I'm happy that the camera is working, because now I can show you our product. So this is the online connectivity unit. It's our baby. It's the online connectivity unit generation 3. So it's the third generation for Volkswagen, and it's the first generation of this online connectivity unit that is internally developed. So all you can see here is, and of course the inside, is created, invented, developed by Volkswagen Infotainment in Bochum for the whole world. And all the cars that Volkswagen is going to build in the next years, and is building now, all the new models need connectivity. So they need to be connected to the internet. They need to be connected to the Volkswagen Cloud and to all the services that are in the cloud. So each car needs this kind of device. And this device is at the moment already on the road. It's in the new Passat that was launched. It is in the new Golf that was just launched some weeks ago for production, and it will be in the new ID.3 and many more cars to come. So a lot of work for us, as I just told you. This is why we needed to increase our capacity. If you have any questions, Daniela just said it, please type them in the Q&A section, and I will take care of it. But at the moment, I cannot see them. So if there are any urgent questions, maybe Daniela can give me a hint.
Right now, there's nothing open.
Okay, fine. So what does this box do. Let me just go through some mega trends in automotive industry. One is very obvious, you can see it on the road already. It's electrification. So cars need electrical power supply for their electrical engines. And this needs to be managed in an intelligent way. So it's not just plugging your car to the socket when you come home at night, because then all our network will break down. So there need to be intelligent solutions. And for example, cars can manage their charging process if they know, if the car has the intelligence to know when is your next appointment, where do you go, so where does your way lead, how much capacity does the battery need to be charged with. And this is information that can be exchanged if you have connectivity in the car. So we provide the technology to create a digital service that is using this connectivity that we open. Mobility services. So Volkswagen is understanding itself not only as a car manufacturer, but as a mobility service provider. So it's very important to understand that mobility is not only by driving a car. It can be by being driven in a car. It can be even by using a train, using a roller, many ideas. And all this mobility needs to be merged together and to have a seamless user experience. And it should be very easygoing, and it should be in your hand with your mobile phone. And to blend the car into this seamless mobility services, we again need connectivity. The car needs to be part of the network. The car needs to be as a mobility service part in the cloud of Volkswagen. So this is why connectivity is very important for mobility services, and we are in the middle of this field. The next topic, connected services. What does it mean? So the car is becoming an internet device, such as the mobile phone already is. So with your mobile phone, you can organize your whole day, you can do payments and so on. And when you are in the car, the car will provide some functions that may be very comfortable or useful for you to have them in the car, because then you have time. The car is a more powerful internet device than the mobile phone is today, because it has more calculation power, it has more sensors, and it has a good connectivity that we provide. So what we will see is that you can use your car in the future to organize your smart home, to do office business in your car, especially when you see the next slide, you know the connection then, and to have comfort services, useful services to ease up your life. So what's the last trend? Of course, autonomous driving. Think about cars that you can just release the steering wheel and sit back, relax, and don't worry about traffic jams or roads that you are not interested to drive because you know them by heart. Your car will know them by heart as well. And your car will be able to handle complex situations in traffic. And how does this become possible? Of course, it needs a massive calculation power. So we can put high performance computer machines in every car, and then we have this calculation power that we need. Or in the future, we make use of calculation power in the cloud, and then we need a strong connection to this cloud, very quick, very high data volume, and very reliable. And this is when our connectivity device comes into the game again, and we provide this technology opportunities. So these are the 4 trends that show you why it is so important for Volkswagen that we produce these little boxes. And I know that there's a recording going on, and I said maybe I show something that is not for the recording. So Daniela just told me to be quiet for a second. I'm now quiet. So
I did not say such a thing right now.
Box. But you can see it only here. it won't be in the recording. And there are many generations of boxes to come. And this is why we, on the one hand, are very busy at the moment. On the other hand, we are proud on our business. And it's very important that we keep on working. And now, what happened? Everything's fine. And suddenly, COVID-19 hacked the world. A very new situation for us. We never had this before. And of course, we have lists of emergency routines, what we do if we have a shortage in electricity or whatever can occur in our business continuity management. And we even always said maybe there will be an influenza and we need to work with less people, but we never thought about this kind of scenario. But anyway, as I just explained to you, we are in the middle of the core business for Volkswagen. We couldn't stop. So decisions were needed and action was needed. What to do? And we sat together and said, okay, what are our principles now? Safety. So first principle, I told you that people are the most important asset for our company. So the first principle was safety for all employees and their families. So we needed to create security. Second principle, an active contribution to this and our cope with our social responsibility. So we are part of Bochum, we are part of the Ruhrgebiet, and this COVID-19 is not only our business, it's for all people here in this area worldwide. So what could be our contribution? Flatten the curve. Yeah, somehow see what can we do to contribute to this. Third thing, very important, keep power to act and keep our commitments. So all the projects are continuing. The cars will need our connectivity device. We cannot stop our work. We need to continue working. And this meant fulfillment. So we knew we cannot continue like we have done before COVID-19, because then the German health authorities, when the first case of COVID in our company will occur, they will close this company. And then we are no more in the power of action. So we took these principles and said, let's see what we do. Create security, flatten the curve, and keep our promises. Our master plan was to send people to mobile work. And I show you some more details about it. But it sounds easy. But so send people in an organized way to mobile work needed a very quick decision process and a very quick start of the action. And what we did is that we informed everyone in our company. We said this is a severe situation, and even if we don't see it at the moment, we have an exceptional growth rate of COVID-19 cases. So everyone needs to go home now, and we need to continue working. So please take all your devices, check them into a database so we know that who is taking what device to his mobile work at home, and then go home, and we stay in contact. And we did this, and people followed this, and we created confidence. Confidence is a very strong factor if you want to keep on working creatively and with high performance with your team. We see that there are results. I will show you. And of course, we create trust with our customers. In the first step, our big customer, Volkswagen in Wolfsburg, they needed to understand why we are doing this. Why do you send everyone at home? We are not on vacation. And I said, yes, but because we don't want to stop our work, we need to go home now and organize ourselves so that we can work from home. You will get some more details. So first of all, statistics of our master plan. This is our percentage of people in the company You remember 600 people roundabout, a percentage of them in the company, and this when during COVID-19. Sorry. So normally we have around 85 to 90% people in our company. The others are on business travels, they are on vacation or on sick leave. And most of them are here. In March 13, that was a Friday, we said, please go home, take your stuff, go home and organize it. So it took some days and we reached an amount of less than 15% of our team size that only came into the company. So these were people who couldn't work at home because they're working in their cars or they are working somewhere else in the company where you can not work remotely. And then later on in May, we started our phase 2. Phase 2 means we have set up some safety and health security rules and processes, and this helps that the people who are in the company are secure and safe, as I am today. So you can see there's a slight increase of people who are working now from the company again, but the majority still is at home. And this is how it looks like. Here you can see my colleague Ferhat, and I was asking Ferhat because I remembered that last year we took a picture from him at his working desk. You can see this on the left side. This is Ferhat without COVID effects. And on the right side, you can see him in his home office working mobile. So I asked him, Ferhat, please send me a picture from you. And he sent this in yesterday. And in the background of the left picture, you can see a kind of radio device. So this is a radio from ID3, and it's mounted in a test rack. And Ferhat can develop his software parts and test it on this device. And how does he do it from home? We have a secure internet connection, so it's a VPN tunnel. And Ferhat can connect to this testing rack that is still in our company, and he can work as if the testing rack is besides him. So everything is online, everything is digital, and he is fully capable of our work. And you could see it here in the statistics, scheduled software releases each week. So we kept all our promises because all the people are working from home, and Ferhat is one of the 600 that are organized now within COVID effect. But this changed situation needed some extras from our side in order to keep the people comfortable and happy, and to keep their minds up. So we added some spices. One example. Normally, if you work here, you go to the coffee corners and meet people and talk and exchange, and this is very quick and efficient, and we have a good team relationship. You can see my door is open here, everyone comes in anytime, and this is something that gets lost if you go home and work from home. So we established digital coffee corners, virtual coffee corners, and you can see by the naming, it's, for example, I'm on the 6th floor in Bochum Universitätsstraße 140, and my coffee corner would be here. So when I'm at home and I go to the kitchen and collect a coffee or a tea or whatever, and have some minutes for a break, I just click into this coffee corner to see who's there, just as I do it when I'm here in the office. And then I see who is there, and maybe we have something to talk. And this has a very good reception in our team. So when we initiated it, we didn't have this here, to generate a temporary room. So there were so many people in this coffee corners that they asked us. So sometimes if we are in the coffee corner and we meet someone and say, let's go around the corner and talk privately, we need this. Because there are groups of people that just meet and then would like to have a private meeting. And so we set this up, and everyone who is interested can generate a room on his own and then go and talk. So very quick and efficient. This was an absolute premiere, and I was really, really excited about it. We use Business Skype, or Skype for Business, and we have 3 times a year, we have a meeting with all the employees from our company. Normally we do it here in this university and in a big hall. And so we needed to talk to our people. And then we set up this Skype for Business meeting with 500 participants. More are not possible. And so it worked. Somehow our IT managed to have a second session for the 8 people that were not in the 500. And it was a very good experience for all of us because we could connect and we had this session like we used to have it when we are here. Another new spice, and that was influenced by G-Data. When I met G-Data, I noticed that in the whole company they have music running, and I really liked this idea. So when we were sitting in our home office, I said, so we have musicians in our company. They have created 3 bands, and they play music here in our rooms. And I said, why not set up a digital radio station? And we use Spotify. Our musicians, they organize all the playlists, and everyone can contribute and make wish lists. And so we have a Volkswagen Infotainment Rockstar radio, and this can be running while you are working. And somehow you feel a connection if you do this. Yes, this is a good friend of us, Professor Parr. He is an idol talking about computer security. I really appreciate his work and his attitude to what he is doing. And we set up a format that's called Learn Over Lunch. And normally we meet, we have snacks, we provide snacks, and we talk about topics, free to choose. And now we do this digital. And Christopher was here on last Friday and holding a Learn Over Lunch session about his topics. And this was very interesting because nearly 200 people were logging in during the lunch break and watching this through Skype for Business. So still connection, and there was a good discussion going on then in the chat function of Skype for Business. Yes, we noticed that when you sit at home and you don't move, you are from one meeting to the next meeting, you don't move, you just click. So we started with sports sessions. So every day, 15 minutes during lunchtime, there's this nice lady and she is doing sport exercises with us, and all my family joins this because they like it. So my wife, my kids, and me, we are in my small extra office and try to not hurt each other while we do our sports. And yeah, this again brings the team together. And not at least, but very important. This is, you can find this on the homepage of Business Metropole Ruhr. So thank you to all the BMR team, because you were very inspiring to us. And this team followed all the actions that we took when we said we are part of the Ruhrgebiet, we are part of society. And they said, okay, how can we help? And you see the guy on the right side, his name is David, and he said, we have laser cutters, we have 3D printers, there are hospitals, home for elder people, they need these masks, so we produce them. And he asked me, can we do it? And I said, yeah, do it, please do it. And so they started. And I can just say that there's a whole company behind this, people that feels great about having the chance to contribute somehow to society. And whenever we have an idea, we just do it. So this is all about people, new spices, and how we work from home. And now my last picture. Business security needs some attention. Here you can see me during the first weeks of home office, wearing a beard, feeling quite good, but I'm in my home office, and of course we have locks, in our doors, and during lockdown, only my family was in my home office. But this is now a situation where people need to be very careful about information on their computer desks and to be sensible. And we have lots of technology to provide security solutions like VPN tunnels and security cards. Yeah, we make use of them, but in the end, it's the people. And in the end, it's of course an amount of trust. And this is where our company, we need to be frank about this, where our company, of course, is vulnerable. And this was balanced and weighted by us. So we said, we do business travels, even if, so of course, when we don't have COVID, we do business travels, we work mobile without COVID. Now we increase the amount of people that are working mobile. Of course, this is increasing the risk of being attacked. But in the same time, it was important to create security and contribution to flatten the curve and keep the power to act. So we said this is a conscious decision to work from home. And the action that we took for this is that we sensibilize our people, we talk to them, but we need to trust. And I'm very interested in your experiences, Tilman Frosch, and of course I'm very interested if there are technological solutions that even help to make this interface a little bit more sure. So that's it from my side. Thank you for your attention. And if there are questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tobias. It was really interesting. It was amazing, actually, and I'm sure that many of us who are listening here also want to have such a digital coffee meeting spot in this company radio station. Very cool ideas, really nice, cool ideas to make this digital community feeling, which is such a topic also nowadays. Brilliant. But stay tuned, because some of our pitches might really be actually exactly what you need right now.
Okay.
As many of the companies right now.
Yeah,
so we're going to go to Dr. Tilman Frosch. Dr. Tilman Frosch is the CEO of G-Data subsidiary company Advanced Analytic GmbH, and our cybersecurity expert from the German side of the event today. After a long conversation with him, I came to the conclusion that the man is not only a master in his field, that has was awarded with various prizes for his outstanding work, but he's actually a cybersecurity poet. As a proof for my thesis, he didn't tell me about it. I found it online. Here are a few titles of his publications: Crouching Tiger, Hidden Payload, The Bug That Made Me President, and I Know Where You Charged Last Summer. Dr. Frosch, great to have you on board. The screen is yours. Oh, Dr. Frosch, we don't hear you. You have to unmute yourself. Now.
I've done so, I think. Okay, thank you. Thanks for the kind introduction. And I'll try to switch to screen sharing here. And yeah. And I'm working from home, so I'll try to keep the noise level low and start with some context on us, actually. So we are, who we are, what we do, and so on. We had some introduction to that. G-Data Cyber Defense is a company that's based in Bochum. We're about 35 years in the endpoint protection market, so what you traditionally see as AV, what has evolved since then. We're primarily serving SMEs, the public sector, and private customers. The first commercial antivirus product we had on the market was in 35 years ago, actually. And we're doing this right now with about 450 employees, 350 of them in Bochum. We do all of our research and development in Bochum. For malware analysis, there is the major part is also happening in Bochum, but we're also keeping an office in Manila to serve our customers with updates 24/7. We support our customers in their native language from Bochum and the Benelux. So this is the short version, short corner facts about GData. Advanced Analytics is a pure service company. So we started out with malware analysis for typically larger customers. We're doing incident response. So here we do basically everything from small, medium enterprises to multinationals. We do security consulting with a focus on defendability and the technical side and business continuity. We do penetration testing, and most of us enjoy red team exercises very much. We do trainings, and we do custom software development for these needs that are not covered by off-the-shelf products on the market. Our transition on 90% or 90+% remote was rather smooth, I can say. For Advanced Analytics, this was actually pretty easy because we built the infrastructure for remote first from the beginning. At any time, we knew, I mean, we're a consultancy, so 10 to 30% of our employees are working remotely or have been working remotely at any time. So transition to full remote was basically one day when we recommended everyone to stay home and work from there. So this went rather smoothly. For the GData Cyber Defense group as a whole, remote work was more on a case-to-case basis. So at any time, about 5% of employees were working remotely, plus territory sales, for example. The transition time to about 90% remote, because we have some premises to keep there, in March was about 3 days, which was, for me, really impressive. I had not expected that to be that fast. And we've just heard about trust. One reason why GData Group was able to go almost full remote in a rather short time is that we trust our colleagues that run our infrastructure with their spending of resources. So in that case, they silently tripled our VPN resources in the 2 weeks before we officially recommended to all who could to work remotely. So this went rather smoothly from the infrastructure side. What we still struggle with or are experimenting with is, of course, the informal communication side. We've just heard what Tobias has awesome examples here on how they managed that. We did it similarly. We didn't have that much resonance on that. We just keep experimenting, and as everybody's willing to do that, I'm pretty confident that we will find ways that work for us. And then there is the data that, in our case, Advanced Analytics, we can only handle in physically protected environments that we actually cannot assume for everybody's home. So here being primarily remote now makes the handling actually easier, and in a situation where we want to ensure infection protection for everyone and contribute to flattening the curve still. As well, there are few people in the office, and the few people that actually need to handle this data that has this requirements can do so safely in the office because there are rather few people. So we implemented, of course, measures and routines where people can, again, work in the office. So let's go to the topic here. I've borrowed a quote from William Gibson, who said the same thing about the future, and boldly say that security is already there, it's just not evenly distributed. And depending on what you personally consider security, that rings true or not. So let me elaborate and start out with a question. The question is, where is the perimeter of our infrastructure when we all work remotely? I bet that most companies think of their infrastructure in categories like inside and outside. And inside is not just a logical location. Inside is a logical location strictly tied to physical location and I think the majority of companies still. Inside is our offices, and outside is the big bad world. If you're at the office, you belong to the company and you can access company resources. And if you're outside, you cannot. So between these two worlds, there's a wall with tightly controlled gates. This perimeter of what a company trusts is tightly guarded. Let's assume that for the moment. There are a percentage of colleagues within most companies that need access to inside resources from the outside. For that, we build special protected street gateways through our walls so that they can convey information quickly and easily without being molested by the border guards. So we call this VPNs, Virtual Private Networks. We use these VPNs to connect other physical spaces so we can exchange information in a trusted way between two sides of the same company. So now we have a bigger insight, and we trust all of that. 2017, this worldview of inside, outside cost the shipping company Maersk about $300 million. NotPetya, a destructive malware disguised as a ransomware, spread from the Maersk's Ukrainian side to their headquarters and from there to other locations at a rate of over 5,000 computers per minute. So this is one of the most effective software deployments I have seen so far. Regrettably, it was malware. And Maersk were by far not alone, and they are not alone in the way they build infrastructure. So let's get back to our question. What is the perimeter when we all work remotely? In a way, the perimeter is now where it always should have been. If we ask our colleagues to not work in the office suddenly, the perimeter is at each individual endpoint and at each individual employee of the company. Many companies realized somewhere between February and April that this is a problem. The interesting point is that this has always been a problem, but they just didn't notice. If we assume that we have a simple structure of outside and inside, then any attacker just needs to get inside. Looking at firewalls and cryptographically secured VPNs, this just might seem inappropriate. But who of you did not read emails today or log into a company website? All it takes is one user error. And make no mistake, each and every one of us can be motivated to make such a mistake. The interesting question is what this mistake will lead to. There's another thing. A lot of technology today is rather inconvenient. The cool stuff is there, but a lot of technology falls short of the seamless, convenient experience we once thought we could expect from technology, right? So for many non-technical users, for example, their corporate VPNs feel mostly okay, but sometimes erratic and sometimes cumbersome. If these users' needs of not being hassled by technology is strong enough, then someone from IT will just, in any company in the end, depending on how high the problem actually exists, someone will just open up something that's easier. So for example, open up remote desktop or a terminal server to the internet because, well, this just works. And at that point, we hand over the well-being of the complete company to the user with the weakest password, because the attacker only needs one weakest link or one weak link to succeed. So I'm very serious about that. There are these 2 or 3 intrusion vectors in combination with a worldview of inside, everything's fine, and outside, that's dangerous, are the root causes for the severity and high loss situations in over 90% of the incidents we've handled in the last 5 years. So be it commodity malware or targeted attack, it doesn't really matter in that context. The question is, where do we go from here? The important thing to take away from a remote work situation, I think, is that we don't trust people or systems because they are at a special location. We trust people because of who they are, and we trust systems because they are configured in a way that allows us to extend trust. But we don't trust people with just about anything, right? So as a company, we trust them with the resources that they need to be productive. This is, for example, in some cases, this is a wide field, but we trust them with what they need to be productive. In an inside-outside thinking, we assume that employees just need the company resources to achieve that. So because they work at the company. If you take the effort to map out what exact resources each person needs to get their work done, this trust suddenly becomes manageable. This sounds like a huge effort, and it can be, but it mostly scales linearly with the size of a company. So it also means that there is not one perimeter. There are quite a few of those. There are quite a few parameters, and they are strategically placed, and each of one needs to be monitored, as well as each system's integrity needs to be monitored. This, however, is not a new requirement. This is just something that we don't see often enough. If you know that the time between the initial compromise of IT infrastructure and the time someone actually notices that there is or there was an attack is something between 200 and 450 days in Germany on average. So security taking this number, security monitoring should be an obvious requirement and an obvious point to improve their own security posture. So following the sentence, if you can't protect it, you shouldn't connect it. Maybe you can decide that someone else should run parts of your infrastructure. In the best case, someone who has way more to lose from a successful attack than you. This accounts for providers that do actually security monitoring, that are experienced in that field, instead of building up all this capability. Or depending on your individual data protection needs, cloud services are of course an option. Some cloud vendors have significantly invested in security and have way more to lose from a compromise than you do as a single company. So our last building block is authenticity. How do I know a person working remotely is who they claim to be? And let's not just ask them for a password, okay? Because we humans are exceptionally bad at choosing and managing passwords. So always ask for at least 2 factors, something that only they know and something only they have. We've just seen the smart cards that Tobias held up. This is one approach to that. There are several good solutions that are readily available, and some are actually easy to deploy. Do we need rocket science to get our parameters to where they should be? I don't think so, because this is just 15-year-old best practice kept up to date. There are novel solutions on the market that will take big chunks out of your hands. So it's easier, but almost all of that actually can be achieved with well-established tools and practices. At some point, at some scale, of course, you will need tools that make your work easier here, but it's basically all commercial off the shelf. Will all of that guarantee that like 100% protection from successful attacks? No, sorry. Nothing will actually, but it will significantly limit the scope of an attack. It will limit the business impact that you experience from successful attacks that are happening and that none of us is immune to. And it will thus minimize business interruption and minimize costs of a compromise. And I think that's a target to strive for. That's it from my side. Enjoy the pitches, I sure will do.
Great, Dr. Frosch, it was a pleasure. Thank you very, very much. With no further ado, we'll start directly with our pitches for today. We're going to start with Cy. Cy hacks its clients with a combination of human natural intelligence and AI intelligence. Mr. Pim van der Poel is Cy DACH Region Director, originally from Netherlands and joining us today from Bavaria. Pim, welcome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, definitely. So let me share my screen to you. Yeah, so nice willkommen, I would almost say. So today in English, it's actually good for you guys that I'm not talking Dutch anyway. So in that case, that's.
If I might just jump in for a second, maybe you want to make it full screen from your presentation.
Yes.
Will look better.
Should be there.
Perfect. Thank
Alrighty.
you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Cy, one of those Israeli companies, as you know, as you just heard. Israel is very strong as far as technology and technology buildup is concerned. So I think that's definitely also the case for Cy. So if we look at it, you know, we give you a little bit of a background from a customer point of view. What did we see during the times of coronavirus? And one of the things, this was actually a scary message that one of our customers got. Cy is offering incident response services. Actually means whenever there's a hack attack at an organization where we have a contract with, they can call us. So we can go either on-site, remote, and do all the tips and tricks that you need in order to prevent the hack from ongoing. This is a typical, we call that a ransomware. It actually means, hey, you know what, this is infected. You know, what you actually need to do is you pay us a few Bitcoins, you get a code, and all the encrypted data gets decrypted and you can start working again. So this is a very scary thing, especially on a Friday evening, right? When the majority of technical people already went home, etc. Still production work was still to be done. So that was very scary. Global phenomena, of course, you know, COVID situation exploitation, all the way down to really attacks to newly often rapidly deployed remote access infrastructure. So obviously mail spam emails with the COVID-19 lure it's just so easy. Like one of the previous presenters said, you know, you can have the best technology in place, but you know what, if people still click on that one link, off you go. There's an agent installed and it's all done. So especially in the first days, we saw an enormous amount of phishing attempts, actually trying to get data, get people to log into systems. One of them was one from the UK government saying, hey, you know what, you get a payment of X pounds to residents, so you know, just click here, and before you know it, there was already an agent installed. So that's particularly what we saw. Overall, we saw 600% of increase in March 2000 of this year. It was tremendous. In the first couple of weeks, we had an enormous amount of calls calling in from all sorts of customers coming in. And the issue was really, you know, other than G-Data, they were fully ready, great. A lot of companies were just simply not ready. You know, there was a 10-time increase of security support related, especially to remote workforce. And you know, in the end, it is in the hand of the employees. Looking at 45% of organizations that just simply do not provide enough information on security training to their employees. It's a bit of an issue. And the reason why we can say that is, as a company, we were founded in 2012, and we were established by the Red Team of Israel. It actually means the people that had the mandate to attack the state of Israel by all sorts of technologies, knowledge and know-how, in order to find out where the holes are in the cybersecurity arena of the state of Israel. So those people that have actually performed that were that team have founded Cy. So I think we know a little bit how things work. And our mission statement is really, on one hand, you know, provide security controls, assessment, validation, but on the other hand, ensuring that customers understand which type of things to prioritize. What are the issues that you need to solve first in order to maximize your existing resource? I think it's an important aspect, because just getting an additional alarm bell, getting an additional product in with all sorts of data doesn't really help you to increase your security. It only helps you to feel uncomfortable at night. That's how I would look at it. This is the type of companies that we work with. So it's a bit like, you know, larger organizations, smaller organizations, in all sorts of verticals. I think it's important to see that. If we look at our attack graph analysis, this is actually a unique way for Cy to present this to the customers. Is if, for example, an internet attacker, and we provide that service, so that actually means we do as if we are the internet attacker. We go through the whole system. We will try all sorts of, I would almost call them real attacks on your whole infrastructure, on your systems, on your network and everything. But we make this graphical to you. That actually means that everything we find, you can find in here. What we actually provide here, and this is actually quite nice, I won't go into too much technical detail, apart from the fact I don't have time for that, but in the end, we actually show you the route this attacker actually takes, which actually means if the route from the internet attacker is all the way down to your reputation server, then there is an issue. You only need to ensure that, for example, this particular issue in file upload is crossed out. If that's crossed out, this whole route is gone, and you can actually then focus on the next route. So we ensure that from the whole list of all sorts of vulnerabilities, all sorts of issues that you have, we actually diminish that into a small list of issues that you can work on. And we can work on that together with you. And what makes us unique is definitely the combination of the expert as well as the machine, and a reconnaissance process, which has a great prioritization, as well as this very unique attack graph showing where your real issues are. With that, I would like to first say if there's any questions, do talk to us if you have questions. I also speak German, so no worries about that. And this is my email address. I want to thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Pim, for being with us and telling us everything and presenting it so well. We're going to move on to Perimeter 81. Perimeter 81 knows how to secure cloud-based networks. In the conversation with Amit Bareket, the CEO of Perimeter 81, he revealed to me that since the breakout of COVID-19, their total customer base has more than doubled itself. Amit, let us into your perimeter.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Daniela. Let me share my screen. So hi, everyone. My name is Amit. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Perimeter 81. We are a cybersecurity startup based in Tel Aviv and New York, 85 employees. As most of the cybersecurity companies here in Israel, both me and Sagi are coming from strong technical background and served in elite technology units in the Israeli intelligence forces. And basically, this is our second startup after we sold our first company, SaferVPN, to a public company in the US. Now, today there are two challenges of the perimeterless world. One, resources are moving to the cloud. Two, employees are becoming digital nomads and working from everywhere. And I think, and you all agree, that COVID only accelerated this trend. This trend was already existed. And basically, COVID pushed us forward, I think, at least 2-3 years ahead. And we found ourselves basically in a new situation. Now, both cloud and mobility are disrupting a very large market of traditional firewall, which basically boxes that are protecting the office. It's a market of $50 billion that will basically go to zero or absolute zero in the next few years because of this trend of cloud and mobility. We found our offices empty or without valuable assets. And instead of it, there is a new market that is continuously growing, which called Network Security as a Service. Gartner, the leading IT consultancy firm, tagged it as SASE, Secure Access Service Edge. And what it basically means is meaning moving away from all the on-premise infrastructure and security to the cloud edge. Cloud edge, basically cloud environments that are running locally in different countries, close to your employees in order to have reduced latency and a seamless experience, right? And in Perimeter 81, specifically, as I mentioned, we're 85 people worldwide. We released the product in February 2018. And we're a very holistic team that provides 24/7 support, development, product, and all sorts of related items. I wanted to go over quickly on the architecture and the solution of Perimeter 81, and also discuss a few use cases that came out of the recent COVID digital transformation that it caused. Generally speaking, our solution is very relatively simple. It includes three main components. One, the cloud network, which you can see here, the square that is turning around. Basically, 30 different data centers, including in Frankfurt, Germany, that we have. That basically running our own private cloud, allowing any company from any size to build their own secure network in the cloud. The second part is the management platform, which is also the control tower, like a control tower in an airport, where you can see which airplanes are taking off, which airplanes are landing, which airplanes are flying by. So that basically control tower orchestrate the network and the security policies, and allowing us to move away from site-centric security. And the question is not what is the security policy for my office in Tel Aviv, to user-centric security, right? The question is what is the security policy of Tal, for example. And the last piece is basically the agent that installed on the managed devices. And that basically allows us to provide a unified security for all the employees, regardless they're inside the office or outside the office. There are three main use cases that we're focusing on. The first, zero trust access, basically a solution with an agent and without an agent, allowing you to access your resources, whether on-premise, in the cloud, in the internet, securely, very easily while implementing zero trust. The second use case is network and internet security, all the features that you know that you have in the firewall, but instead of having expensive firewall in your office or utilize VPNs in order to enforce security, you enjoy all the security features basically accessible from the cloud for user to internet and branch to internet security. And the last thing is interconnectivity, how to connect between branches easily over the cloud. At the end, our vision is to create a single cybersecurity platform that includes one agent, one management platform, and one secure network as a service. The company has today more than 950 customers, including meaningful customers as well as in Germany. COVID, of course, accelerated a big trend of remote work. And our solution that is basically SaaS-based, it's a cloud-based solution, does not require any physical installations or configurations, and make it easier to employees to reach their environments while enabling security and productivity, became very much relevant. I wanted to thank you all for listening to me, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Great, thank you, Amit. We're going to move now to XM Cyber. XM Cyber is among the young and most promising Israeli startups in the cyber intelligence community in Israel. They're using AI to simulate cyber attacks on their clients and find the weak spots and offer solutions for that. Itai, the European head of sales, with whom we barely found a time slot to speak because he was so loaded with work, especially in the last time, he's with us. Hi, Itai, welcome.
Hey, thank you, Daniela. Thank you all for inviting me. So let me share my screen, and I will do a quick presentation. I will say a wake-up presentation by the end. So, excellent. Can you see my screen probably? So my name is Itai, as Daniela said. I'm the head of sales at XM Cyber, responsible to a small part of the world of EMEA and APAC. And let me go directly to the platform, so the company. So XM Cyber, another cybersecurity company, surprise, surprise, coming from Israel. You didn't hear cybersecurity yet. And we are about 90 employees located globally. We have Israel, US, UK, and Australia. We have more than 150 customers across the world. We are well-founded, and we're getting plenty of awards. I will say the two major awards that we got last year, it was we got the Tech Pioneer from the World Economic Forum, and I think it was 2 weeks ago, we got a Cool Vendor by Gartner, another good trophy. So let me go direct to the problem. The problem today, and guys that come with me in the presentation, don't afraid of this slide, but you know, as a cybersecurity expert, organization have around 40 or 50 security components inside the organization. And this is, I would say, top of the art solution. But how you can explain that with all of this, an amazing solution, and those are amazing solutions, most of them Israeli, but how you can explain that with all of these amazing solutions, organization crime are keep on climbing. So organization crime keep on climbing because I would say two major reasons and additional one new. So the first reason that hacker to them becomes sophisticated. They able to touch an advanced method that's still from the NSA in 2014. It actually allowed them to run under the radar of most security components by using I would say a layer called IT hygiene mistake. The second thing, they become patient. They can run even, between 7 to 8 months inside the organization without you to notice. And if I would take the last thing is because of the COVID-19, I would say, is the network today is dynamic. It's not human to manage the network today. Why? Everybody are working from home. You don't have the ability to manage what the configuration, what is the patches, who is coming, who is going, and so on. And it's actually not human to manage, I would say, the technology. The tool that you have today as a security officer are an amazing solution, but we call them a yes-day solution. In one hand, you have the automating vulnerability management, our amazing solution, but in the end of the day, they will not show you the real problem, the IT mistake that usually occur inside the organization. Addition to that, they will not help you to prioritize your problem. If I will take the other side, the human pen test, first of all, humans are amazing, but humans are doing mistakes. And the major problem when you're doing a pen test as a human team, you're not able to scale. Imagine now that I will give you a solution that will actually resolve all of these problems. So we're at XM believe that, and this is the best, I actually love this slide because I'm a chess player. I believe that your role as a security officer is one of the difficult role ever, and I want to elaborate. Imagine now that you playing on your defense strategy, you're doing your best move, and then you go into the other side, your other chair, and playing your best offense, I would say, move. But the biggest problem is actually playing chess solo. And why is that? Because the hacker is playing in a separate chessboard. He's not actually ask you what is going to be his move. He's doing his move separately without you actually know. So where at XM understand there is a lack of a solution that they can answer two main questions. First of all, are my critical assets secure? Yes or no? And second, what is the most cost-effective way to remediate it? So imagine now that I am as XM will give you a solution that will enable you to lift the curtain of your IT, to do actually an MRI, and to show you a real hacker that's running into your solution, fully secure and fully automatically, and the most important thing, learn over time, as an automatic tool that's running and combine two major machines, a red team activity and a blue team activity that we call it a purple team. Thank you very much.
Guy, thank you. Thank you. It was really quick.
Trying to be efficient in time, guys, and to keep you awake.
You are. It's all very stimulating. Now we're going to move to our last speech for today, RESEC. RESEC knows how to completely prevent malware attacks, a special weak point when we work with in our unsecure home office environments. Tal Sadiq, the CEO of RESEC, a man with an extremely interesting life backpack, among others, the vice president of JP Morgan in New York, partner in venture capital, CEO of two other startups in the past, and even had, not so long ago, a successful athlete career in the college in US. He left US and came back home to Israel, bringing his great energies and to create new success stories in Israel. Tal, great to have you on board. Where are you? Are you here?
There we go. Yes. Thank you so much, Daniela.
Great.
Just sharing my screen as we have to. There we go. Okay. Hi, everyone. I am Tal. I'm the CEO of RESEC. It's a pleasure to be here with you. RESEC is another cyber company providing organizations with ultimate protection from file-based malware threats, both known threats as well as unknown threats, zero-day attacks. And we do this through patented content disarm and reconstruction technology known as CDR. Unfortunately for all of us, malware is continuing to grow very rapidly, more and more attacks coming every day. And the fascinating thing is that more than 90% of the attacks are coming from documents. It's the Excels, the Word documents, the PDFs that we all know, but many non-standard formats too. There are many existing solutions for anti-malware, yet all of them have significant limitations. Antiviruses only deal with known malware, and they have many false positives. Sandboxes are a step up security-wise, but they have very high latency. Restrictive policies are exactly as they sound. They are restrictive to the end user. RESEC solves this problem by approaching that same problem in a completely different way. Full prevention and not traditional detection. Let me explain what that means. We treat every file as a threat, which is why we always keep the original file outside of the organization's network, stored in a safe place on the customer side. We then study that file, every bit, every byte, every component, and in real time, we put together a brand new document. A perfect, fully functional replica of the original, one that we put together from scratch, which is why we can guarantee that it is threat-free. Let me show you a visual example of this. We have a PDF that approaches your organization's perimeter. We will never let it in. The document will be stored on the customer side, no data privacy issues. Then in real time, we'll create the replica that I mentioned. Same colors, same fonts, same formulas, and the same applies to dozens of file formats. That's what we send to the end user in real time. The end user does not know that we exist, yet is completely safe. It's a game-changing solution as we offer our customers complete prevention, minimal impact to business as usual, and a solution that's easy to deploy and maintain. Our customers tell us that using Resec, they get a good night's sleep. It's not that common in the cyberspace. Our products range from email protection, both on-premise and cloud, removable device protection, different file transfer vectors, downloads and uploads from the web, and more. In these unique days of COVID-19, with everyone working remotely or from home, the key products that we see additional usage of is the email solution, again, on-premise or cloud, API, which means that we can receive the document from any system from the customer through API protocol. File portal is protection to the customer from uploads into the organization. More and more organizations during COVID are offering digital portals to external users to upload information into the organization. Last but not least is file server, which is protection, transfer of files between segregated networks, and cloud storage such as OneDrive and SharePoint. We're a proven product, we're expanding globally. Our technology has been awarded 3 patents, 2 approved, 1 in pending status. We have the highest level of certification in Israel.
Tal, I'm afraid we're having network problems. So I'm afraid Tal had a slight network problem. I know, Tal, you're back with us.
I'm back. I'm not sure where you got cut off.
I think it was your last slide or one before.
No problem. Just to quickly run it back. So again, proven product expanding globally, multiple patents approved, highest level of certification in Israel allows us to work with military, government, banking, and most secure organizations. And most importantly, dozens of existing customers from most industries. We have case studies from most industries. This is a solution that is a great fit for medium to large enterprises across the board. We're expanding globally through key partnerships, through distributors, resellers, integrators, and more in primary markets. Extremely proud of recent partnerships with Tech Data, largest distributor in the US, key distributors and corporations in Japan, large cyber distributors in APAC, as well as in the US. We're a team of seasoned executives. My background is as a JP Morgan alum, as you said before, Daniela, co-founder and CTO of Resec, as a former Microsoft alum. We have lead investors from Israel, Hong Kong, and the US, and company advisors, including Tamir Pardo, former head of the Israeli Mossad. Thank you so much for your time. We'd love to have a discussion with any of you and show you how we can better your organization's security. Thank you.
Thank you, Tal. I know you had much more to tell us, but the time is short. I'm afraid that our Q&A function here is empty. Our attendees are shy, but I would love to hear what you, Dr. Frosch, have to say about our pitches. Those solutions that were pitched today.
Yeah, well, they are all addressing relevant problems in the end. There's the problem of, well, discovering the ingoing vectors of potential attacks. There's the problem of what is network. I think this resonates a bit with what I talked about before. How do you organize? What is your parameter? And the question of how do you address the problem that you need to exchange documents in the business world is something that's, all of what we've heard is addresses charts and parts of the problems companies are dealing with today.
Exactly, it's from all different angles. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for your incredible impulses. Thank you, Rasmus, Tobias, Tim, and Pim, Amit, Itai, Tal. Thank you everybody, to all our participants. Thank you to our great partners in crime, IHK Israel, Grisha, Cham, and Sharon, you're the best. Thank you for joining us today. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Joining.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
See you.